So, hey everyone. So, we will wait for 5 more minutes so that everyone can join, and then we will start. Till then, everyone, like you can scale out of 10, like how much are you excited for this session? So, let's get started. Good evening, everyone. I am Raj Rathore, Secretary at Gallup SRs. We welcome you all to the webinar How to Start a Career in Web3. So, today we have the privilege of discussing this exciting and rapidly growing field and how you can be a part of it. So, our goal is to provide you with the tools, resources, and insights you need to launch a successful career in the world of Web3. So, let's take a moment to appreciate the technology that has brought us here today and how it has transformed the way we interact and transact each other. So, with Web3, we are on the cusp of a new era of decentralization and innovation, and we are thrilled to be a part of it. So, we have our speaker, Mr. Manoj Kumar T, who will be sharing their experiences and best practices on how to enter this field and the opportunities that exist within it. So, he is a creator and freelance blockchain educator who guides the people looking for blockchain and Web3. and also he's a certified blockchain practitioner by the sex of groups. So get ready to take notes, ask questions, and engage with the speakers and other attendees. So let's make the most of this opportunity to learn and grow together. So over to you, Mr. Manoj.
Hey guys, good evening. Mr. Raj, can you hear me? Hear my voice here in the studio?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, great, great. Thank you so much here. So, good evening here to the people who are attending this session, and thank you so much to attend to about. You will get lots of information about this blockchain, and especially you will get a clear idea about how you can start your Web3 career after this session. This is one of the promise I want to share from you. So let's go to the small content here. So I hope you can able to see my face also here and this. Actually, I was living in my living room, so that's why here. So right now I share my screen to you about the PPT to you. So actually, Mr. Raj, can you able to see my screen here?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. So let's go to the content of the Web3 here. So first of all, I wish I give a small warm welcome to the people who are present here and who are ready to attend this meeting here. So here in this session, you will get some information about the fundamentals of blockchain, what is Web3, what is NFT and DApps, what is smart contracts and working, and how to become a Web3 developer. So if you want to become a Web3 developer, how to you want to start your journey in Web3 means you should know some valuable steps about the terms called blockchain. So if you know about the fundamentals of blockchain means it's quite enough to become a Web3 developer. So that's why I need to share some of the things to you about the fundamentals of blockchain here. So here this is the simplest explanation about the fundamentals called blockchain. So if before that, if you want to become a Web3 developer or you want to become a Web3 specialized person, like a Web3 front-end developer or Web3 developer or whatever, you should understand the blockchain concepts. It's mandatory. I repeat, if you want to become a Web3 developer means you should understand the concepts of blockchain very, very importantly because Web3 is based on completely blockchain. So let's go to the small introduction about the fundamentals of blockchain here. So blockchain is nothing else. It's a technology first of all. Blockchain is a technology. Otherwise, it's called as a database. It helps to save the data once present in the terms. So let me give a small note about the blockchain. Blockchain having a scalability, blockchain have a decentralization term, and blockchain have a security term. So if you want to become a Web3 developer means first you should understand the terms called the fundamentals of blockchain. The fundamentals are nothing else. It have a scalability, it have a decentralization, it have a security. And that results the blockchain may see a trust. For example, if you save a small data or if you save the small transaction data in the blockchain means you can trust the data. That means blockchain is no one can hackable those things. And second thing is security. The security of the blockchain is based upon the cryptography, which is mainly called the asymmetric cryptography. So asymmetric cryptography back access is one of the main thing which makes the data is more stronger than ever in like a centralized databases. And efficiency is quite important terms in the blockchain, which makes more stronger and more believable to the people who want to share their data to the databases. So these are the three important things about the fundamentals of blockchain. So here, and one of the five key elements about the blockchain. So so some of the persons are new to learn about the term of blockchain, or else maybe some people who are new person to the term of blockchain right now here. So if a person is a newbie or a complete newbie means these five elements they should learn about the blockchain before going to the Web3. So the first thing is encryption. Encryption is a security term which helps to secure the data from one person to another person or one person to the database. It helps to secure data very powerful for long terms. And second thing is distribution. Distribution is nothing else. It's previously called as a explanation called distributed ledger technology. Distribution nothing but the data is distributed to all the nodes. In centralized database, every data is presented on the only one place that's called a server. But in blockchain, the data is distributed to all nodes. For example, if a series of computers, nearly 10 to 20 computers are connected with a single places, the data is shared to all the computers, and the end results, the data is completely distributed. So the data is quite easy to access and quite easy to see the data without any the third person access, or I guess it's quite hard to hack. And third thing is decentralization. Decentralization is a term which makes blockchain is more powerful and immutability also. Decentralization requires the data is present in the blockchain, but it does not arrange it in a stacks of data. That results the data is present in blockchain, but not in an arranged manner. And the final thing is called the tokenization. Tokenization, nothing else. It's quite an easy term. That means you can make those data in a term of tokens, like NFT based tokens or like a crypto based tokens like ERC20. So if we have data, if we have some terms called coins, you can able to convert your data into tokenization methods like NFTs or tokens or likewise you can convert. So these are the five key elements about the blockchain, and that results the blockchain is one of the most important technology in the current decade. So let's go to the next slide. So why blockchain is important means these are the 10 things. I repeat, these are the 10 things which makes the blockchain is more important. The first thing is security because blockchain provides the most valuable security provided to our data. And second thing is transparency. You know what? If you share your data to the blockchain means you can see the data whatever and whenever without any without any stress or without any issues here. And third thing is inexpensive. And the fourth thing is time of transaction is less. Compared to a traditional transaction, blockchain transaction fees are very less compared to a traditional transaction. So the transaction fees is quite less. Increase efficiency in financial finance. You know what? The blockchain is more important to the financial technology or the industries who using finance as a backbone. So if those industries are using the blockchain, it's quite easy to increase the efficiency in a normal and a good manner. Fraud protection is business. In business, fraud protection is one of the un, most underrated headache. But unfortunately, blockchain act as a solution for those businesses who want to prevent their fraudulence, otherwise makes the corruptions also. Financial privacy is more important in every terms, so that's why blockchain provides a financial privacy. And some of the most important things are data leaks and hacking. You know what? If a company or a thing using a blockchain means it quite harder to hack or the data leaks are quite harder. The scope of innovation. You know what? Currently, blockchain is acting as a more innovative things. Some of the institutes in the world or some of the education institutions provide the education certificates in a term of NFTs. So that results though the innovation is quite larger also. Even in future you can create a whole world by called a metaverse, and afterwards you can create your own internet that's called using your web3 terms also. We'll see in the what the more detail about in web3. No middleman in transaction is the final point, because in a traditional transaction there is a middleman called banks or any third party clients, but in blockchain based transaction there is no third one, just called nodes also. That nodes is a term called computers. So these are the main things which act as a blockchain is more important in current technology and the upcoming decades also. So some of the people can have some idea about so sorry. Some of the people having the idea about called blockchain. Some of the people having the thoughts about how the blockchain is very important, but they didn't have some idea about what are the fields that we can apply the blockchain in those fields. So so here you can see the healthcare, agriculture, banking services, and we have an ESG called environmental social governance and lake management, logistics, transportation, and gaming. So that means you can apply the blockchain technology in any places. So these 20 are the most and very important industries to apply, because these are these products of those industries are using in our day-to-day life. So that's why I stress the top industry. In future, the businesses are going to increase. I guess it's 100 also. Up to 100 businesses are going to increase in future. So,
I think our speaker is having some network issues, so we will be continuing in few minutes. Till then, you can ask your questions in the chat box. Also, you can like tell us like what do you understand by Web3? Like how do you got to know about the Web3, and like why you want to move your career in the Web3. Drop your comments in the chat box, and we also have some exciting gift for the.
Hello. Okay, so I saw one question in the comments, which asked which language are basics to learn about Web3. So the basic or the most popular language is the Solidity, and the other language like Rust. All these are platform based, and there's one more language which can be used to develop blockchain is by you getting an idea about JavaScript. That's all, guys. Any question, I'll be waiting and answering that.
Hello.
Okay, so we have a speaker back. I think he had some network issues.
Raj,
So
can you? Is that fine now? Is
yeah,
that
it's
fine?
completely fine. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I guess.
so you can continue.
Well, is that everything fine from your side?
Yeah, completely fine.
Yeah, fine, fine, fine. Sorry, sorry for the bad network issue. I guess it's I have some bad network from my side. So let us start from the where I paused. So right now we previously thought called Web3 is a decentralized version of the internet that allows user to create their own data. So this is where we paused. So right now I need to share some of the things which is in a whiteboard manner, so that helps to share quite easy to understand for you also. So let's go to the whiteboard here, and I want to share some things about how the Web 1, Web 2, Web 3 are quite different and how it's work also. So I just go to my whiteboard here, and afterwards I need to make a small template for you. So here I have some whiteboard to share things. So previously we have the terms called the Web 1. So Web 1 is a term which helps to create a own data. That means it's like the best example of the Web 1 version is called the Wikipedia. Wikipedia is nothing but is a site which helps to only read the site. That means in Web 1 version, we can able to only read only terms. So in Wikipedia, we can able to read the things only, but unfortunately, most of the users can able to share the data on the internet. So that is the first version of the internet. And here in Web 2, Web 2 is nothing else. It's based upon our own things. Like it's like Google and Amazon, Amazon Web Services, and otherwise called big data giants like Microsoft Offices. So here, these things which helps to make web in advanced form, yeah, after the Web 1. So that means in Web 2, you can create your own data. At the same time, you can share your data to the internet. But unfortunately, you can able to own the data. You know what, the tech giants like Google, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft are running are based upon your data only. For example, if you have your username like Gmail ID and you have the password, and afterwards only you can able to access your account or access your services. But unfortunately, that is your own data, but those data is not owned by you. You can create the data, but you are not the owner of the data. That means whoever can access those data by the centralized databases. So that is the problem was happened in the term of Web 2. So afterwards Web 3 provides a solution about the call as ownership and privacy also. So in Web 3, most of the data was owned by creator. That is the main point here. And second thing is it's completely decentralized. And the third thing is very important, it is immutable. That means that without your knowledge, without your knowledge, the data was not created in Web3. At the same time, without your knowledge, none of the data was changed here. So that is the main thing in the Web3. So this is the simple whiteboard explanation about how the Web 1, Web 2, Web 3 was evaluated right now. So let's go to the slide again. So previously there's a small quote here you can see called Web 3 is still a brand new world full of unknown paths. This was quoted by the Michelle Amanda, who is the founder of the Immunify. It's a Web3 security based company. And you know what? Web3 is still nascent. That means it's it's purely like a infant child condition of Web3 is presented here. You know what? There is lot of opportunities are present in Web3. Lots of opportunities present. At the same time, whatever the stuff you can make in the normal internet, that the same stuff, the same things I have, you can create in the Web3 also. Like if you create a blogging platform like a blogger.com, you can also make a same blogging platform in Web3. That's called the mirror platform. If you have using a Spotify, that's called your Web2 version, means you can using the same Spotify in Web3 version, that's called the ODS protocol. So there is a complete replacement presenting which are things in the web 2 or the web 3. So let's go to the another slide that's called, this is the one of the important slide which makes
So,
clear explanation about the web 2 versus web 3. Web 2 is based upon the basic things like HTTP and RPC protocols and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and other important structures like the Amazon Web Services Azure. But in Web 3, some of the
sorry to
things
interrupt you,
added.
Manoj.
Sorry?
Excuse me. Your screen
Yeah.
is not visible.
Sorry?
Your screen is not visible to us. Okay, I think
Oh,
it's not
sorry.
participating. Okay.
Pre, is that fine now? Can you able to see my screen now? Raj, can you able to see my screen now? Hello? Hello? Can you able to see
Yes,
my screen
Manoj.
now?
Yes, Manoj, it's visible.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks for the patience once again. So let's go to the slide now again. So here is a simple. Let's make them a recap right now. So Web 2 is based upon the things called HTTP protocol and RPC protocol and HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These are the main things are present on the Web 2, which makes user-friendly internet things. But in Web 3, some of the additional things are added, like solidity and blockchain and smart contracts and the EVM called Ethereum Validating Machine and other things called the frameworks of hard hat truffle. So these are things which helps to make the Web3 more stronger. In simply, we can say Web3 is a extension. Web3 is a extension which provides some additional tools to solving the problems. So you know what? If there is a technology is evaluating means it provides two things. That's called a solution, and there is a problem. If a problem is providing means solution also present. If the solution is providing means the problem also making. So that results internet was presented previously. So it provides some solution, but after provides a solution, it makes some problems. So the problems of web 1 was solved by the web 2, and but after that web 2 provides some solution, then finally it makes some problems based upon the web 2. So afterwards what happens right now, that means the current of 2023, the problems of web 2 is solved by the web 3. So some in general this question is, if someone will be asked like then the problems of web 3 will be solved by the web 4 or web 5 means it is possible based upon the upcoming evolution and the upcoming things which was developed by the developers also. But the current fact is the problem of Web 2 was solved by the Web 3. So what are the additional tools that present means that is the main thing called blockchain, and other thing is called the smart contracts, and main thing is called the frameworks which helps to deploy those projects like a smart contracts or whatever the NFTs or the apps likewise. So here, this is the blockchain stack. Before you should know about the thing called Web3 or Web3 stacks, you should know about the blockchain technology stacks. That means in every blockchain, there is called the five types of stacks. One is called the application layer, and the second thing is service and optional components. And third is called the protocol layer, and fourth is the network layer, and fifth is the infrastructure layer. So these are the layers are very important to learn about the things in blockchain and about how the blockchains are important. So in application layer, the things called the DR browsers, D apps, and programming languages like Solidity, Rust, likewise. Service and optional components are like the data is saving, like NFT based data or digital assets data, or whereas the smart contracts likewise. The protocol layers are like a consensus mechanisms which helps to verify the transaction or verify the data which is added on the blockchain. For example, Bitcoin having the proof of work. Bitcoin having the proof of work mechanism which helps to verify the transactions and finally adding to the blockchain. And Ethereum having the proof of stake mechanism which helps to verifying the transaction and finally adding to the blockchain space. And afterwards called the network layer. Network layer nothing else is like every blockchain having the peer-to-peer network layer. That means if you send a transaction to the one person means you and the person who receiving those funds only can able to see the data. None of the persons or the trespassers can't able to see the data. That's called the network layer. And finally called the infrastructure layer. Infrastructure layer like the process of networking. networking, and the nodes arrangements and tokenization storage likewise. So these are the things which is explaining about the blockchain technology stack. And here the main thing is the stacks of Web3 application. So here, if anyone want to become a Web3 developer, they should know understand about what are the things and what are the stacks presenting on the Web3. And first thing is, if a person who want to become a Web3 developer means first they should know about the stacks called the front end stack. So currently the React framework Currently, React framework and Next framework are the most famous things which helps to provide some projects also. But before you move into the Next and the React framework, kindly you should know the things called the HTML, CSS, JavaScripts. These are the very important things for becoming a Web3 developer. You know what? Web3 is not a new thing. It is the advanced version of the Web2. That means if you learned about the HTML, CSS, JavaScripts, it can able to build a website which is based upon the Web2. As the same, if you covered those three languages, congratulations, you crossed nearly 70% of the Web3 career pathway, because Web3 is based upon the Web2 only. So if you know the stacks of Web2, you can become a Web3 developer is quite easy. And even though the duration of becoming a Web3 developer is not like a year or not like a month, you can become a Web3 developer within 200 days, or maximum is 200 days. If you spend 4 hours per day means you can become a Web3 developer within 180 to 200 days. It's quite possible. Great. Let's back to the application layer. In you know what in become a Web3 developer means they should know the stacks. The front end stack is mainly about called the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and afterwards they should know the frameworks called the React and Next frameworks. But next framework is one of the most advanced framework. So if you learned about the next framework means you will getting more salary than the person who knows called the React framework. And second thing is you should know about the terms called storages. That's called the decentralized storages. Decentralized storages like a third web, airwave, and NFT storage. These are the things which helps to save your data and save your data on the blockchain based storages. Indexer SDK. SDK refers to a software development kit. The most famous indexes out of a developing kit called Alchemy SDK and Morales SDK. Those things are quietly using in the many of the projects in the Web3 ecosystem, and that results those data were shared on the blockchain in quite easy manner. It's quite easy also. Smart contracts act as a backbone for the Web3. So the person should know about the things called the front end development and the smart contract development. And finally, they should know about how to deploy those smart contracts and finally interlink it to the website. So these are the things should know about how a Web3 developer should gathering those things. At the same time, they should know about the smart contracts. In smart contracts, it's not only from Solidity, but at the same they can. If a person know about smart contracts in Rust, if a person know about the smart contracts which can make it in the Python, that's called the Viper framework. Means they can also create the smart contracts and deploying on the blockchain based things also. But the fact is, smart contracts are act as a backbone in the Web3 based application of Web3 developers. And the main thing is the blockchain which you use to deploy the blockchain also is very important. In most of the projects which is developed by India is used for Polygon, and some of the European based countries are using Ethereum to deploy, and some of the South Asian based things are used to develop some gamify projects or NFT projects by using Binance or some layer 2 blockchains called Optimism or Polygon. Likewise, they are using. So choosing a blockchain also is one of the important thing to become a Web3 developer. Even you can use whatever the blockchain like Polygon or Ethereum or Solana or whatever. But the main concept is you can create an application which is running on the blockchain. That's it. And many of the peoples are thinking like what are the jobs are presenting in the blockchain space. So I create a small list about what are the jobs are presenting in the blockchain. So that's why I mentioned here. So here in this, there are lots of jobs are presenting in the blockchain. I previously mentioned Web3 is here truly nascent and it's currently a beginner stage. But these are the current jobs are looking in the blockchain spaces. So here you can see the blockchain architect, DApp developer, smart contract auditor, blockchain code developer, UI UX developer, content creator, community management, front end developer, NFT creator, NFT analyst, DeFi analyst, product designer, graphic designer, blockchain security engineer, data scientist, marketing and sales, full stack developer, cyber security or Web3 security analysis. And if any one of the people who want to become a Web3 security analyst means congratulations, you have a bright future after in this decade, because Web3 security is one of the most highly demanded things currently going in the job market. I'll show the upcoming things which in the live data. And blockchain educator also is most important thing also. Cryptographer, human resource manager on TAT accounts like HR, accountant, auditor, lawyers, translators, metaverse architect, game developers, especially on Unity and Unreal Engine, technical copywriter and developer relations. You know what, these are the jobs which are currently presenting in the web3 spaces. Web3 developer means is not only technical side, but some of the jobs are present on the non-technical side also. For example, NFT analyst, DeFi analyst, product designer, graphic designer, and accountant, auditor, lawyers, the translators. These are the non-techie side. Techie side jobs are like architect, DF developer, smart contract developer, code developer, and front end developer. These are things are present on the technical side. In shortly, we can say the number of jobs in technical, non-technical are highly available, at the same time highly demand also, which is based on the Web3 spaces. And if you want to, if anyone want to become a perfect Web3 developer, or anyone want to become a startup which is based upon the Web3 means, you should know about the terms called the IPFS. IPFS nothing else. IPFS have an abbreviation called Interplanetary File System, which is act as a backbone for every Web3 project. I repeat, IPFS act as a backbone for every Web3 project. It's a peer-to-peer decentralized protocol for storing a blockchain-based data. Some of the startups are based upon the IPFS like ODS, OpenBuzzer, Filecoin, and Pinata, which Pinata is a API services provider, or based upon the IPFS also. I repeat, if anyone want to build a startup which is based upon the IPFS means, congratulations, your startup will become more easier to deploy or host your data on blockchain spaces. The architecture of IPFS is quite different from the normal data storing places. That means if you the data which is uploaded in the IPFS means it can able to taken up to the limit of 256. For example, if you upload a single MB of file in IPFS means it can cut into four pieces, which is like a 256 kilobytes, and afterwards it converted into a single object. After the conversion of single object, each 256 kilobyte data will produce a hash ID. That's called hash is act as the identification tool in blockchain. So the hash is the important thing which helps to identify the file sizes, and finally it creates a whole link. And here you can see the links present in the architecture of IPS. And finally those four links are combined and converted into and added to a smart contracts. And finally data saved in the smart contracts are moved to the blockchain database. So this is how the architecture of IPFS is working. So DApps and DeFi, and most of the people are having a small confusion about what is called DApp and DeFi, because those two terms are highly demand and highly like a fire, like a fire based. How I say it's quite trending, I guess. So DApps are stand for the decentralized application, and those applications are run on the blockchain. In normal applications like what we are using in the computer, plus PC and Android apps, it's called a centralized application. That means our data is stored in a centralized databases. But in DApps, those data was stored in a decentralized things. That means those data are stored in a blockchain. At the same time, some of the payment apps also, some of the apps having some issues due to the network down or due to the nodes are getting down. But in blockchain based apps, there is no failure will happen. At the same time, due to the multiple nodes, you know what, in blockchain there are multiple nodes which are more than 100 or more than 100,000 nodes are present in every blockchain. So that results the data is shared to the everything. So this is called the decentralized manner, and that results there is no failure happen. In shortly, we can say you can use the DApp at 24/7 at whatever the time. DeFi is one of the new term which is acting as the most vital, most valuable person in the financial sector. DeFi is otherwise called as a decentralized finance. It's a collective term of financial products and services which is looking in the blockchain. In normal financial sector, those the money is moved to a person which having some contracts or bonds or proofs. But in DeFi or decentralized finance, Those tools are completely managed by the blockchain basis. That's called smart contracts. They are giving the same money, they are using the same verification method, but interlinked with the blockchain. That means the data collected by the person who lending the money, that data was stored to the blockchain, and that is blockchain makes those data was immutable, and that is the data was saved in a long manner. The important pillars of the DeFi are called wallet, smart contracts, DFs, and DXs. That's called the decentralized exchanges. Exchanges not only for the cryptocurrency also, but some of the normal cashes also presented here. And the third thing of become a smart contract is smart contracts are the self-executing contracts which helps to make an agreement of the buyer and seller. In fact, in shortly, we can say smart contracts act as a backbone. So that results in every Web3 developer, a person should know understand. A person should know about how to create a smart contracts. So that results if a person doesn't know smart contract means they can learn very easily within some of the months or 2 or 3 months. Using it mainly the smart contracts are mainly using in transactions like Ethereum or Polygon based and creating some DApps as also. Smart contracts are is an important one. So that itself it became a easily traceable, transparent, and most thing is irreversible. If, for example, if you done a transaction based upon the smart contracts, means those transactions are completely irreversible. That means it can't able to change. The key properties of smart contract are the autonomy, decentralization, and the third thing is auto sufficiency. So these are the things which just makes the smart contracts quite easy. So these are the main things about the smart contracts are presented here. So I want to share some reality things called how Web3 salary are presented here. So I want to share some things called the Web3 dot career. So any one of the newbies are presented in this video means kindly see this website because this website provides the genuine information. At the same time, lots of Web3 developers are noticing the website for jobs, not only for jobs, for internships, and some clear data also. So let's see the things how the Web3 people are getting the salary and what are the things are they asking. I guess my network is quite getting slow. I guess. I guess my site. I guess my website is getting slow. So let's go one more website is called Crypto Girl Jobs. So this is one of the site which provides jobs about in crypto based also. Not as the same it's a Web3 based things also. So here in these things you can see the real time job opportunities. Here you can see the blockchain engineer which provides by the Polygon which launched by the 10 days ago. And here these are the things which are noticed by the things. And here you can see the key job responsibilities called contributing, designing, implementing, and launching new versions of blockchain nodes and maintaining them. So, and the skills are and the main important skills are using is Go language and distributed systems, zero knowledge, the other way short say Zkey, and finally the solidity. So if you know the tech stacks like Go languages and the solidity means you will get the job very easily in the blockchain manner. And the final thing is called uh, and the final thing is called getting a job is not a quiet manner, but you should have a proper portfolio also. For example, you should make the things called some portfolios like you can make the Amazon clone and a Twitter clone and WhatsApp clone and a Reddit clone. These are clones act as a portfolio things, and that results you can get your job very easily. The most important things you're getting job in a web3 field means currently using the sites which having the frequent information passing about the jobs I using this website called cryptocurrencyjobs.co, and here you can see the multiple number of jobs are present here. And here you can see the Golang engineer and the senior technical operator, and these are the things which. And here you can see the graphic design which I mentioned in my PPT, and web3 marketing lead also present here. DeFi quantity, that's called DeFi researcher or DeFi analyst are presented here. So these are the jobs are presenting here, but the main thing is you should choose one. You should choose the three main things that is called the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You should know the it's very fundamental. And second thing is you should learn about how to make a smart contracts. And third thing is you should know how to deploy smart contracts. And finally you can make the product. So these are the things which is very important to create or become a good Web3 developer in market. So these are things I should share to you. And finally, I concluded my presentation here. Um, uh, well, Mr. Raj, I concluded my PPT here. Am I audible to you, everyone?
Yeah, you are audible. Thank you,
Uh,
Manoj. So we have some questions from the audience side. So I would like to address all the questions.
yeah,
Okay.
great. Please, please.
So Prahars asked what is cryptography and what is the role of cryptography in the blockchain?
Uh, so, what is cryptography? Yeah, great. I like this question, first of all. Well, cryptography is nothing else. Cryptography is a term which helps to makes the blockchain and the transaction are quite easy. Can I show a small demo about how the cryptography works in blockchain?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Let me share some demo about how the cryptography is working in this. So previously I mentioned in blockchain there is called cryptographical asymmetric cryptography is working here. So in blockchain wallet or act as a important them which is act as a username also. For example, in if you are in a bank means your account number is acting as a person which is representing you. So likewise in blockchain space, your wallet address is representing you. So in asymmetric cryptography, we can say the two things that's called a private key and public key. So if you seeing address like a valid address means that is called the public key. So right now you can see the demo about how the cryptography is working in the blockchain. So right now this is called the public key and this is called the private key, which is presenting on the above here. So there is a two persons called Alice and Bob. Okay. So right now in every wallet, private key is always not revealed by the any of the wallet and public key should be valid because that is the addresses here. So in public key is acting as a tool which helps to receive or send the funds from the one person to another person. So that's why it has the public key. But private key is helps to verify those address having the public key or those addresses having the from the wallet. In shortly, we can say private key helps to verify the transactions. Public key helps to receive the funds. This is the two things that helps the public key and private key. So right now, I generate a public key, private key for the two persons, right? So right now, I send the public key address to the Alice to the Bob, and I share the public key of Bob to Alice. So right now, I shared those things here. So right now, I make a small message here. So in blockchain, you can see every transaction is cryptographed. Those cryptographies happened by using public key also. For example, there is a plain text I mentioned here. Those plain text are cryptographed here by using the public key. So here now we encrypted by using the public key, and that results I send these things. I send the encrypted text to the Bob. So now he received. And finally, Bob need to encrypt this text what is created by the Alice. So that results Bob decrypt this cryptographed message by using the private key. So these are the things which is happening on the blockchain. In simply, we can say public key and private key are acting as a main tool in blockchain, which helps to transfer and receive the funds, and as the same, it helps to maintain the privacy and the peer-to-peer transaction mechanisms in blockchain. So these are the simplest demo which helps how the cryptography is working in the blockchain. So I guess your doubt will solve, I think, isn't?
Thanks, Manoj. So we have our next question from Mahesh Reddy. So he asked which languages are basic to learn about Web3.
Which language are basic to learn about a Web3? Yeah. Frankly, say you can learn what you can learn in coding based. We can have many languages like C, like a C or C plus plus, Java, Python, or Rust also. But currently, if you are a newbie, means I don't know anything about programming, kindly start from the basic called HTML, CSS, JavaScript. If you cover these three languages, means you can become a Web3 developer. Not only Web3 developer, you can become a developer in whatever that means a X developer. That means you can become whatever the developer, like a blockchain engineer or become a normal developer. But if you want to become a but from my suggestion, kindly learn the language called Rust, because Rust is one of the most eminent eminent language in the blockchain spaces. That's it.
Okay. So perhaps ask like, is there any problem in the Web3 right now?
Is there any problem in the Web3 right now? Currently, the problem is Web3 is truly nascent. Nascent regarding means it's like a very very new thing. So the problem in the Web3 is lots of startups are presenting here, lots of projects are present here, but lots of but there is a lacking of people. That means people are currently new this technology, and they don't know how those technologies are running here. But unfortunately, lots of techies and lots of founders, co-founders, or startup founders are provide creating so much of apps, so much of things in Web3. So that results, if a person consuming means that only the product will reach, the product will usable. But they hear lots of products are there, but the people who using the products are very less. So that is the main problem here in Web3. It takes some years to solve, but this is the current problem in Web3.
Okay. So Abhinav asked like, don't you think more crime rates would increase as there would be no way to track the thief, just like Bitcoin is not traceable?
Actually, I want to share one reality here. Bitcoin is traceable. I repeat, Bitcoin is traceable. You know what? Bitcoin is not anonymous. It's called pseudonymous. Bitcoin. I repeat, Bitcoin is not anonymous. It's pseudonymous. For example, I want to share one thing to you. I want to share some things to you that's called blockchain.com. Yeah. So blockchain.com is one of the website which is a universal blockchain explorer. So here and there we can see the multiple blockchains here, like it's a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Binance or Litecoin or Dogecoin or Polkadot or Ripple or Cardano, whatever. So here in this is called a Bitcoin blockchain. So here in this Bitcoin blockchain, you can see the whole data here. That's called the whole blockchain size, the what number of nodes are present, the latest block created here, the last number of transactions are there. Here we can see whatever the things. So here now you can see the block here, which contains a lots of transactions here, right? So here I choose this block, and here it has some generalized information here. This is the hash rate of this block, and here there's a transactions are presented here, and you can see everything is data here. And here in this you can see the things about how the transactions are presented here, everything here. And you know what? Bitcoin is a public blockchain. It's not a private blockchain. So in shortly we can say using Bitcoin we can make transactions, but that results it can't be able to help the increase the crime rates. In shortly we can say Bitcoin is a pseudonymous. That means it can able to find the crime rates. It can't help to increase the crime rates, but it helps to makes your transaction easily only. It can't able to help your transactions with the illegal manners, because Bitcoin is a public blockchain. That means you can see whatever the data present in the blockchain. But it's quite easy
Okay.
to track those transactions. You know what? In shortly, we can say Bitcoin transaction is traceable, trackable, and findable.
Okay. Thanks, Manoj. So Sachin asked, can a BCA student become a Web3 developer?
You know what? Not only a BCA, if a person who is enthusiast, if a person who having enthusiasm means everyone can become. If a BCA means he is quite eligible for becoming a Web3 developer. You know, if a person, even you know what, I'm in Web3 field, I'm in Web3 for the last 2 years. I saw some of the engineering students also for the guidances. I saw some of the students who are like a physics graduate, chemistry graduate also looking for some Web3 and blockchain spaces. It's like you open. It's not looking for any designation. It's not for like a particular people will join. It's open for all. So any student can become Web3 developer, but the duration is not more than 200 days. Even the person's capacity will, even the time will change when the person's capacity will change. So for the normal duration is 200 to 200 days is quite enough for becoming a web developer.
Okay, so sir, UPI is a blockchain system.
No,
This was a
frankly the UPI is one of the best technology ever in the world, which makes our payment and transactions quite easy than any other. But UPI is not based upon the blockchain system. It's quite different from the anything. But I saw some of the news like in upcoming in futures blockchain will become a normal payment system, because you know what, SEBI is like SEBI which helps to launch in the IPO in India, but SEBI using the DLT which is similar to the blockchain. And you know what, even India has the approval of using the blockchain in the many of the financial sectors also. But in UPI there is no blockchain is included. But they're using the strong cryptography things and things also. And but UPI is not based upon the blockchain. It's a united payment interface, not a united blockchain interface.
okay. So does ChatGPT has any effect on the Web3 development?
Definitely not. You know what? ChatGPT is a neural network based one. At the same time, it's a AI tool. Let me share one small point here. AI does not replace the humans, but the person who using the AI will definitely replace your job. This is one of the key point you should understand. But the fact is, ChatGPT doesn't make any effort. You know what, I'm also tried the ChatGPT for creating a smart contracts for like NFT marketplace. I copy the codes which created on the ChatGPT and share it and move it to the remix IDE. So that results, those codes are not working well fine. It can able to create the codes but not in a well manner. So Web3 is truly nascent and ChatGPT also truly nascent, but a nascent thing can't affect the nascent sector. You know what? It's currently a new thing, means so it takes more than a decade to affect or anything to change. So current year is not possible to do.
Okay. So Prahas asks, is there any course for free on blockchain?
There are there are multiple courses are present in the block to learn blockchain or Web3 also. There are multiple courses there. You know what? Many of the developers in the blockchain, not only a blockchain, many of the developers like front end or back end or security engineer are fully learned from the internet also. Like using the YouTube like a YouTube like a free code camp, other some tech based tracks channels are only. But fact is the learning is always free. That means there are lots of channels which helps to provide a learning as a free. I saw one of the best things called Alchemy University, which which covers a proper Web3 curriculum, Web3 educational sector also, and some of the things called Alchemy Road to Web3 is quite interesting one, because I'm using in my day-to-day life. And the third thing is a chain shot. A chain shot is a best thing to learn about Web3 JS. It's a library which is using in the blockchain development and Web3 development also. And the fourth thing is called Cadenza. Cadena. Cadena is a New York based startup which provides NFT based certificate courses. And the Build Space. Build Space is one of the topmost and my favorite thing to learn about the blockchain basic, because you can learn by building some projects. These things are completely free and many other things also coming also. Once I get means I'll share to this to you. But blockchain learning is completely free.
Okay. So Psycho Tamilam asks, what's the future of Web3?
Future about Psycho. Okay. Uh, the future about the Web3 is, frankly say, the future about the Web3 is totally decentralized. At the same time, if a person should know about the Web3 means it's quite easy to become. They can get the job very easily. First thing. Second thing is they can make their own solution without any the help of other persons. And third thing is they can make their own centralized things like metaverse also, like decentralized app also, and other things like they can control their own data without any authentication things. Even if a server gets collapsed means their data will not get affected at the any time. The future is quite great. Instead of web3 they can learn the blockchain means it's quite safer than any other. Web3 is great, but blockchain is greater than anything.
Okay, so we have also got some questions from the audience before the session. So I would like to ask, like, what is decentralization?
Sorry.
What is decentralization?
What is decentralization? Decentralization in simple term is, and I want to share this thing in here two lines. Decentralization is nothing but it's a term which represents the data is present in the blockchain without a set of stacks. In simply we can say the data is present in the database without a set of stacks. You can see the decentralized, remove the first word is centralized. I mean centralization. Centralization refers to the data present in a only one place in a arranged manner. So the opposite word of the centralization is called decentralization. That means the data is present in the database, that's called blockchain here, but those data is not arranged, is not in a set of stacks. That means it in a open and a free manner. So that is called the decentralization.
And also, like, what's the difference between the Web 1, Web 2, Web 3?
Sorry.
What's the difference between the Web 1, Web 2, Web 3?
Uh, in short manner, we can say Web1 is the thing which can able to read only, because in the term of 1998 some of the people who are like in the company who are like the internet using companies or like telecom companies having the thing called have the internet. So here in that term or in that era we can able to read only, like a Wikipedia is one of the best example for how the web 1 is present. In web 2 the data is can able to share from one place to another place, like we can able to sign in a website means we can create our data and save it and we can move just log it. But the problem in web 2 is we can create the data, but unfortunately we can save the data, but we can own the data because the data is owned by the third party services like any Google or AWS or a Microsoft Office likewise, because we are using third party storage devices to store our data, to authenticate our data. This is the problem here. And the Web3 is nothing but you can create, you can share, and you can own your data. That means you can convert your data into a tokens, you can convert into a token in NFT, you can convert into a token in a royal NFT, you can convert your data in whatever the manner you wanna by using the same internet. So this is a small difference. This is a small definition about the Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3.
Okay. So, what is fungible and non-fungible tokens?
Fungible is a term which can able to separate into multiple pieces. First of all, uh, let me share my screen again to you. So I hope you can able to see my white screen. Is you can able to see my whiteboard screen, isn't?
Yes.
Raj, can you able to see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, we can.
Yeah, great. So the term called the fungible, and here is non-fungible. So fungible is a term which helps to turn into separate into multiple pieces. For example, this I have one small Bitcoin, right? So in Bitcoin, I can convert into a zero point 0.1. I can convert the Bitcoin into 0.001. I can convert the Bitcoin into 0.0001. So I can able to change the Bitcoin into 0.0000 and one more zeros 1. So I can use the one Bitcoin into a multiple small pieces, right? So the converting of multiple pieces from a whole part is called the term fungible. This is called the term called fungible. Converting a small amount of pieces from a whole part, that's called a fungible. But in non-fungible, like a NFT or present on a image means this we can't able to convert into a small pieces. Like this is a picture, we can see as a picture, but in internet, this is a digital product. This is a digital product. I repeat, this is a digital product. In digital product, if a pieces can't we can't able to cut into, if we cut the pieces means in case we can't able to use the product. So that's why it's called a non-fungible. So in shortly, we can say fungible is a term which can convert into a small amount of pieces up to the negligible one. But in non-fungible means we can able to cut into a small parts of pieces, or we can take the small pieces. So that is called the fungible and non-fungible. I hope this thing will make sense, isn't? Raj, are you there? Hello.
I guess there is some glitch from Raj's side. So, next question is from Ayan Kumar. The question is, if we can make a Web 3 apps from Web 2 tools, when there, then where does the line of Web 3 strains the Web 2 tools?
Sorry, Mr. Ayan Kumar Matru, I can't able to understand your question. Could you please make it a better, or can you rephrase this one?
If you want, I can repeat this question.
Uh, is there possible to rephrase this question again, because I can't able to understand this thing. It's
Okay,
incomplete one. That's why.
okay, let's wait for 1 minute if we can rephrase the sentence. Till then, there is another question. Sir, how can I learn and make future in this field?
Frank, uh, once again, read the question, please.
So question goes like, sir, how can I learn and make future in this field?
Frankly, say in future there are multiple things evolved here, because currently blockchain Web3 is applicable in some of the fields like a financial field and entertainment field also. But you know what, in blockchain Web3 can applicable in many fields as. And you know what, you can also build your own startup like audience. It's a music based concept. That means a music is using Web3 and blockchain. And real estate based projects also using the Web3 and blockchain. And if we, and I guess in last year, the former president Donald Trump also launching their own NFT, which is a complete blockchain, and which is a complete NFT. At the same time, it is using the blockchain Web3 stack also. And you know what? There are lots of things are present in the Web3. But currently, Web3 exploring is truly small level only. Like it's a like the whole Web3 ecosystem is like a smaller one. Like 1% only they explored, but nearly more than 90% is not explored and not created yet. But in future, blockchain and Web3 are more worthy one. So if you learned in this year, that means if you decided dedicate to learn the Web3 and blockchain in 2023 means you will get a better and good life than any other. And if you want to learn means kindly use the YouTube in a good manner. YouTube and Twitter are the great resources to learn those things. And you know what, those things is and those things about the Web3 and blockchain development are completely free in these things. So if you want to learn, if you want to learn the blockchain things, kindly use the Twitter and the YouTube is in good manner. From myself, I want to suggest some good people like Patrick Collins and Free Code Camp and Austin Griffith and Nader Dabit. These are the four eminent YouTube channels which helps to become a good Web3 developer, and it helps your future as well as a good also.
Okay, so Samarth asks like, is age matters to start the Web3 or when we complete the college?
No, age is not a matter. You know what? You know what? Age in any field, not only in blockchain, in any field, age doesn't matter. In India, there is a small boy called Xavier Martin. He built a startup. He built a startup that became a six-figure salary. That's become six-figure salary. He built a startup, and currently he building a software services. But his age is like a 15. That means he is a ninth standard student. And there is a one more student called Gajesh, and one more there's a student from Goa. He built a bridge called he built a bridge between the Solana blockchain, and finally he became a intern in Solana Labs, which is in Switzerland. So age doesn't matter or college degree doesn't matter, but if you have a curiosity, if you have a thing which is become a consistency to learn, means you can become whatever you want. While it's a blockchain or Web3 or become a cyber security or a front end developer, no matter, but you should be a specialized one. That is very important. You can make you can make a project from one person another by using copying or become a cloning, or you can take inspiration, but you should have a creativity. In shortly say, instead of create a product for business, you can create a product for solution, means you can become a best developer in the world.
Thanks, Manoj. So Ayan asks like, as you said, we can develop Web3 apps using Rust. Rust can also be used to make Web2 apps. So are there any particular modules which will make it a code of Web3?
Frankly say, if a person who want to build a web3 means like a web3 application, means 70 to 80% stacks are based upon the web 2 things only, like a formal HTML, CSS, JavaScripts only. And additionally we can add the frameworks called create next or react framework. And but the additional things, what are the things we add means, just we adding called the smart contracts and the web3 JS or ether.js. These are the only two stacks we should adding in the web3 stacks. Except those two stacks like the smart contracts and web3 JS, everything is quite same and similar.
Okay. And also asks like, can you specify the channels again which you have listed?
Can I share in the chat with everyone in studio?
Yeah, sure.
Fine. Let me share those channels to you. I want to share right now.
Okay, so
I,
we will
I
be sharing these channels in the group itself after this session. So moving towards the next question, and Samarth asks like, how can I start? Please suggest.
Sorry.
Samarth asks, sir, how can I start? Please suggest in Web3.
This is the main thing I should share for the from my side or personally ask is like how I want to start means, kindly do kindly I want to ask one thing. Don't start your career by after watching any tutorials or videos also before, because lots of people are learning about blockchain, but unfortunately they didn't get the fundamentals. Before you get into the blockchain means, you should understand the terms called what is internet, how the internet works, how the internet gets our data to the database to saving our data. So these are very fundamentals to learn about before learning the blockchain, because if you understand the internet means, you can get the understand about the blockchain and web3 development is quite easy. Many of the developers don't know about Many of the developers and many of the students who learning about the blockchain or whatever the things, they don't know about how the internet works, what is called the internet, and how the internet are changing the data from one place to another place. These are the fundamentals. And afterwards, you should go to the basics called what is distributed ledger technology, what is cryptography, what is blockchain, and what is hashes, and what is cryptography. These are fundamentals and the basics ones. After covering this, Then only you should know about what is smart contracts. What are the things which helps to become a good smart contracts? Because smart contracts are acting as a backbone means you should understand the smart contracts in a good manner. After covering these things, then only you should go to the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. After this only you get to the create next or React.js framework. But the easiest part in this stack is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Learning programming languages is quite easy, but before that you should understand how the internet works, how the data is creating on the internet. That is very very important, because if you understand the internet, if you can't understand the internet and how the internet works means you can't able to understand how the blockchain works also. So that's why I mentioned, and it's a kindly manner.
Okay, so thanks, Manoj. You have answered like most of the question. So like we will be quickly wrapping up this session. Like it's more than 1 hour, and like those who have questions, they can also drop their questions in the chat, WhatsApp group, and we will answer all those questions. And thank you, Manoj, for coming. And I hope this webinar has provided valuable insights and guidance on how to start a career in the exciting field of Web3. So remember, Web3 is about decentralization and giving power back to the people through blockchain technology. To succeed in this field, it's important to stay up in date with the latest development, continuously learning, and network with the like-minded individuals. So the opportunities in the Web3 are endless, from developing the decentralized application to becoming a blockchain consultant. So, like, my final advice is to take action. Start small, experiment, and don't be afraid to fail. Failures are just opportunities to learn and grow. So, join online communities, attend events, and collaborate with others to bring your ideas to life. So, the future of Web3 is bright and full of possibilities. We wish you all the best on a journey. Thank you for joining, guys. And also, don't forget to fill the feedback form. Have a good night.